This video contains elements that are not suitable for children under the age of 14. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey guys, Sean Fay-Wolfe of Diamond Axe Studios here. I assume you know what a 100-song ranking is, and I assume you know what a 2019 is, so let's not waste too much time on the setup here. For those of you who are new here, welcome. Have some juicy fruit. And for the rest of you, please indulge me while I quickly explain the rules to the uninitiated. First of all, I'd recommend watching my lists of the top 10 best and worst hit songs of 2019 before you watch this video, since I not only go into more detail on those lists, but this countdown will act as a spoiler for those lists. Links can be found below in the description if you want to check those out. And as for what we're doing here, we will be taking a look at all 100 songs on the 2019 Billboard Year-End Hot 100, which is a calculation of the 100 most popular songs of this past year in the United States based on a combination of sales, streaming data, YouTube views, and radio play. The songs that appear on this list were not my choice. They were decided entirely by Billboard magazine's calculations. However, their order on this particular list is going to be decided entirely based on my own completely subjective opinion, as I rank them from my least favorite all the way up to my personal favorite hit song of the year. The songs are also going to be split into tiers of quality based, again, entirely on my own personal opinions, and at the end I'll use these tiers to give the year an overall score out of a possible 500. You got all that? Well, I sure hope so, because the window of time for reflecting on the music of 2019 is very quickly closing, so let's not waste any more time and take a look at...
Meet me at the London. If you find time, we can run one. Talk about some things we can undo. You just in the pen, I can find you. 6-1 on the money, 9-2. You just say the word and I run through. 2 texts, no reply, that's when I knew, yeah, I knew. I crush down when you mind. 44 times, we won't play. 4 say, it ain't now. I might.
So, do you remember that one time Cartoon Network started airing a bunch of live-action game shows because they were worried that cartoons were going out of style, despite the fact that they were, in fact, called the Cartoon Network? This song reminds me of that. Ariana Grande is one of the greatest pop voices of our day, but she and her handlers have decided to pander to the trends of the time and actively undermine her strongest assets in the process, despite the fact that she could probably bring pop music back into the mainstream single-handedly if she wanted to. However, even if it turns out that this song did come from a genuine artistic vision that Ariana genuinely wanted to make, this does not excuse how hard this song fails on every single level. And if you want to know why I feel that way, go watch my worst list. I rant about this song for like 5 hours there. Worst hit song of the year by far, and I feel like I'm being extremely generous by giving it 0 points instead of -1.
And I believe,
A lot of people told me that I completely missed the point of this song when I talked about it last time, because Lauren Daigle is singing about God, and that means it isn't unhealthy for her to find her entire worth and identity in what he says about her. Guys, I know the song is about God, and that doesn't change the way I feel about it at all. I personally believe that it's perfectly normal and usually healthy to find help and support from outside of yourself, whether that be from other people or from a higher power. But when you tie your entire sense of identity and self-worth to that external force, even if it is a divine force, that can be very dangerous. I could talk about all the reasons why I believe this for hours if I wanted to, but frankly, this disagreement is such a fundamental one that I'm not going to be able to do justice to my views in a half-hour-long video, largely devoted to making fun of a guy with a giant marshmallow on his head, so I'm just gonna leave it there. I typically try to practice live and let live anyway, so if you disagree with me on this philosophy or on this song, I don't think any less of you. All I ask is that you just take a step back and make sure that the ones you're loyal to aren't trying to take advantage of you, and that you respect my opinion that this is one of my least favorite songs of 2019.
You poppin' for me?
Pull up in a demon on guard, looking like I still do fraud.
You know we've got a pretty good year of pop music on our hands when we're only up to number 4 on my worst list and we've already made it out of the terrible tier. I do have to say though, this one was close. I left it out because Travis and Offset's parts are passable to mediocre individually, even if they are structured really weird. But everything Kodak does in this song outside the chorus is just mind-numbingly worthless. Even if you somehow manage to actually understand the mucus-covered Scrabble tiles he calls a verse, you'll find that his flow on this song is just jacked directly from tunnel vision. I was more sympathetic to Kodak Black in my worst list than I probably should have been, because I do know that he has put out some really good stuff, but honestly, is it worth it?
I used to wanna go fishing, but I ain't have a father. I used to play cops and robbers, now I'm a real robber. When I was locked up, everybody up and left me for that. I ain't true.
Boots need knocking boots.
So, I've been thinking about putting some merch together recently, and despite being pretty short, the segment on this song in my worst list did manage to produce not just one, but 2 memorable moments that quite a few people told me they would like to see on a shirt. That is literally the only thing this piece of music has contributed to the world. I don't hate A Boogie as an artist at all, but 2 out of the 3 songs he's managed to get onto the Billboard year-end lists have had to cut a sex offender out of their music videos, and that really ain't swell.
Don't let them niggas try you, test your patience.
Just imagine The Weeknd on this beat with this concept instead of Chris Brown, and you'll see this song for the tragedy that it really is.
If you're there, girl, I've got my eyes on you.
The more I looked into this guy, the more I realized that he really should get more hate than he does. Seriously, just look into him yourself and see how deep you can dig before your sense of decency and good taste forces you to bang a Yui.
I wake up in the morning, I got murder on my mind.
And the more I looked into this guy, the more just shaken to my core with sadness I became. Like, seriously, I just feel so bad for this guy. Just everything about his existence just depresses me. If you have any doubt that this country desperately needs to overhaul the way we deal with mental health, the story of YNW Melly will wipe those doubts from your mind in record time.
Yo pussy basura, my pussy horchata.
Don't even want this now.
He say you all about money, yeah, I'm on that cash shit.
A lot of people were outraged with me when I put this song on the dishonorable mentions, but honestly, I'm starting to wonder if I was being too kind to it by leaving it off the proper list. Then again, maybe it is just a me thing, because I recently realized that I really can't stand instrumentals that are nothing but bass and hi-hats with literally no treble. A trend which has become distressingly common and which has ended up ruining a good few songs on this list. Even beyond that though, I honestly can't stand the sentiment of the song, and both artists are really just phoning it in and coasting on charisma. I don't get the appeal, not at all. Most overrated song of the year by a country mile, I tell you.
When I come through, I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah.
Girls Like You by Maroon 5 featuring Cardi B is not the 5th most popular song of the fucking decade. This is an objectively false statement, and I will hear no arguments to the contrary.
I started this shit, I'm a business. Niggas be hating, trying to blemish my image.
You'd think what sticks out most to me about this song would be the farcical misfires NLE Choppa calls punchlines, but even more than that, I just can't shake off how amateur this production is. I mean, if you listen to it, you can literally hear the pop in the editing where they merged 2 different takes together.
Feeling like I'm Kobe, can't that nigga hold me.
Dude, that's like level 1 shit right there. Seriously, I don't know the first thing in the world about audio mixing, and even I can fix it. Look.
Feeling like I'm Kobe, can't that nigga hold me.
What an embarrassment. Hell, this whole song is an embarrassment. Seriously, if you like anything at all about Shotta Flow, just go listen to Camelot instead. It's the exact same song, but twice as good.
I was born to flex. Yes. Diamonds on my neck, I like boarding jets.
Exhibit 2 of the hi-hat percussion and overwhelming bass line with nothing in the middle. Granted, at least you've got a couple intense piano hits to punctuate the deadened bass sludge, but this song is just a headache. It's not an intense burst of cutthroat female empowerment, it's just an obnoxious tirade of materialist bullshit that has nothing to say and says that nothing way too loud. Cardi B felt less like a dominating force who defined the year and more like the siren you hear at any given time as part of the background ambiance in the city. Loud and irritating with the sole purpose of grabbing your attention and telling you to get the hell out of the way. Here's hoping for a better Cardi in 2020.
But baby, I just wanna be good as you.
I originally just thought this song was really boring, but every time I hear it, I like it less and less. Guess it's a good thing I've only heard it like 3 times then. Seriously, I have no clue how the hell this managed to make the year-end list. I literally never heard it once before I did this ranking. The only thing I know for sure is that Kane Brown should make a pledge to never sing one single note above middle C ever again, because anything higher than that just doesn't work for him. Also, the fact that this hit the Hot 100 the same week as Faucet Failure and this was a hit while that wasn't is pretty compelling evidence for this being the worst timeline.
And I promise that nobody's gonna love you like me.
I feel like the fact that Taylor recruited a member of the LGBT+ community for a song about how awesome she is, and then released a gay rights anthem by herself, illustrates the type of artist and person Taylor Swift is better than anything else ever has.
We started off as close friends. Somehow you turned into my girlfriend.
Lil Baby made an R&B song. Lil Baby made an R&B song. Lil Baby made a collaboration between Ellie Goulding, Diplo, and Sway Lee actually makes perfect sense because even though they all come from different genres, they're the poster children for what selling out looks like in each of those respective genres. All 3 of these acts are capable of making not just good music, but interesting music, and yet they've all collectively decided that getting radio play is what matters to them more than anything else. Literally, the only interesting thing about this song is its chord structure. Everything else is so middle of the road it hurts. Also, I'm officially decreeing that people need to stop using the word animal in their pop songs.
'Cause I'm an animal, like animals, like animals.
I talked you into slipping down the hall, baby, turn it on.
This song is almost completely aesthetically presentable, which is kind of amazing considering that every single element of substance is barely even a little cute at best, and makes me want to die at worst.
I'm looking at that fine little dress you got on. Don't get me wrong, girl, I love it. Now I just wanna talk you out of it.
Even for a duo who have built a reputation as a veritable thesaurus of embarrassing bro country metaphors, I think that line is the single most cringeworthy thing ever to come out of Florida Georgia Line's mouth. Or, you know, at least it wasn't until a week ago.
I've been into waffle fries since our first day. Ain't got time for playing, I'ma clean your whole plate. Girl, I'ma lick it up.
You know, country music was doing really well for a second there. What the hell happened to it?
I'm speechless.
Oh yeah, that's right. These guys happened to it.
I got one thing right.
I hate literally everything this song represents, but doesn't really bother me that much personally, so I guess I'll give it a pass. I am aware that that's the type of mentality that allows dictators to rise to power, but it's Marshmello. What threat could he possibly pose? Point taken.
Cause I don't care when I'm with my baby, yeah.
You know, just to make a point, I'm going to use this segment to review literally every single song on Number 6 Collaborations project except this one. I jumped ship on Caramel Thighs. Pretty good, but really should have changed the seed line. The fuck's a Stormzy? Duh, that's cute. Dope. Considerably less dope. The Goose carries it. Sorry, Ed, but you used that title already. Nothing on Bruno. That is objectively false. Meek Mill on an Ed Sheeran song is like putting hot sauce on Cheerios. God damn it, who spilled their watered down Skrillex on my 2019? If I released this, I would bury my head in the sand like an ostrich and never come out again. I don't like this song called M.I.A. by a guy named Drake and his pal Bad Bunny.
Wake up with your girlfriend.
Not awful, but I do think I liked this a lot better the first time I heard it, when it was called Down by Marion Hill.
I know it's all in my head.
F.
You need to calm down.
I have a feeling that this is going to be the song I look back at in a few years from now, and I kick myself for not putting it lower on the ranking. Some nice production choices and an apparently genuine sentiment of empathy did convince me to cut this song a break, but honestly, between this and her previous single, I just can't hear this song without thinking of this.
You know, a lot of people died in the tsunami, but don't worry, I didn't. And I'll be here to entertain you and love my life for many, many years to come. Me. Act up, you could get smashed up.
Beats hot, and I like half of the rapping, but I have to say there are some people who can take an offbeat flow and make it sound good. Young Miami is not one of them.
Did a dash in the rubber like it's Fast and Furious. You see my number in his phone, now you acting curious.
Also, I'd like to point out that after years of memes and jokes, I can definitively boil down Lil Yachty's contribution to pop culture to a pair of feature credits for 2 separate one-hit wonders, playing Green Lantern in the Teen Titans Go movie, and writing this line.
I bet your little sister wanna look like me. I bet your little brother wanna fuck like me. I mean, that's what, like, if I was a female, I would say it like that.
What an icon. In fact, I can really only think of one group of people more iconic than he is, and they would of course be my supporters on Patreon. For the love of God, please don't leave. I promise this will be quick. If you're enjoying this video and would like to help support more like it, not only would I appreciate it if you would like this video and subscribe to the channel, I'd extra appreciate it if you would consider supporting me on Patreon. If every one of my subscribers could pledge just $2 per video, I would be able to make YouTube content full-time. For $5 per video, your name will join the ranks of these fine people scrolling up the screen, and for $10 per video, you'll join the elite club of my top supporters, which as of now includes KFW, Pull & Pong, Jeremy Sherman, Tim Shoop, Moment Reviews, Pierre Lou Lang, Flarbrew, Yoshi EX26, Liam Kinch, Mike Duggar, Nick Cage, Luke Newman, Kumarai Fang, Cyril LaFonde, Fox Navarro, and Sil Merrill. I aim to produce the highest quality content I possibly can for you guys, and these are the wonderful people who make it all possible. So a huge thanks to all my patrons, and if you'd like to join them, I'd appreciate it more than you'll ever know. See, I told you it would be quick. Now back to your regularly scheduled bitching.
I'ma need some whiskey glasses.
I honestly don't feel like this one gets enough credit for just how strong its melody is. It's not all that catchy, but it is really aesthetically pleasing, and while the lyrics may be corny, they're corny in a charming, old-school country kind of way. That said, the Swamp Dad instrumentation is novel, but overstays its welcome really quickly, and Morgan Wallen sounds like the convoy guy going through puberty.
I ain't drunk, darling, no more at 3 a.m.
Yeah, them smokies as thick as bugs on a bumper. They even had a bear in the air.
Baby, really a problem, somebody gotta stop him, man. Her haters watching too hard, I think they got binoculars.
Definitely an easy target and definitely a cash grab, but I just like it more for wasted opportunity than anything else. I really don't hate the sound of this at all. Frankly, I think this beat suits Lil Baby better than most of what he usually raps over. Honestly, I kinda hope this song ends up being influential. I mean, think about it. If this song's success ends up inspiring a collaboration between Lil Pump and Lil Dicky called Micro Penis, I think crime might end. Now, this is a song by Halsey written about her ex-G-Eazy that charted from controversy despite its mediocrity. On the year-end list at number 3, topped the worst list of Sick of B, hated by others besides she, but not that bad if you ask me.
I want you all to myself, we don't need anyone else.
There was an absolute avalanche of really bland Nashville offerings on this list, and so I hope you'll appreciate the significance of me waiting until I got to this song in particular to say these words. Man, this country song sure does exist, doesn't it?
A rich nigga, 8-figure, that's my type. That's my type, nigga, that's my type.
Killer sample. really wish you actually did something with it. Honestly, I think I might like this one a little bit more than the next few entries here, but the prospect of putting this song at number 69 in the ranking was too tempting to pass up.
You know I said that I am better now, better now.
Post Malone decided to revive the Jonas Brothers this year.
Can I'm rolling, 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 rolling with my brothers like it's Jonas, Jonas.
They decided to repay him for it.
And every time that song comes on, it's about me. Oh, I feel like Post Malone.
I wish they hadn't repaid him for it.
Shoot too hard, don't stand too close, you gon' fuck around and drown.
I feel like this is the type of song where all the pieces have to be 100% in place for it to really work. If the pieces are 98% in place, it's a total fucking disaster. And if you ask me, I'd say that we're hitting a solid 99. I definitely picked up on a good deal of disdain towards this song, but I'm frankly kinda shocked there wasn't a whole lot more than that, considering that this song's general attitude towards consent makes Robin Thicke look like John Legend. I'm honestly kind of embarrassed that the inner Sublime fanboy in me was suckered into overlooking these creepy overtones, and all it took was a cheap-ass white reggae beat with a couple decent hooks to do it. But you know what they say, I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me.
That's not who we are. We are.
A lot of people were surprised to see this song in my dishonorable mentions despite me calling it decent on the cusp of good in my fall top 20 ranking, and as for why I changed my mind about it, well, my opinions fluctuate, and all the best aspects of this song just kinda wore themselves out over time. Meanwhile, hearing Ed Sheeran and Khalid whining about how awful the beautiful people were just struck me as unnecessarily nasty and judgmental, and it just didn't sit right with me. I have come back around on it somewhat because, hey, the stereotypes do exist for a reason, and the production is kinda nice. I will concede that it's a very well-constructed pop song, but not something that I'm ever gonna go out of my way to listen to. To find those, we're gonna have to take a look at... Okay, guys, look, I get it. Brendan Urie 100% definitely could be making better music than this if he felt like it. However, he's clearly decided that he really doesn't feel like it right now, and so let's just work with what we have. And what we have here is essentially Congratulations by Post Malone for white kids. I know what I said. It's a song for when you're feeling prouder than yourself than you know you probably should be, but screw it, you don't care. And honestly, I think that's a good niche to have a song for.
We pop out at your party, I'm with the gang.
It's kind of amazing how, depending on what mood I'm in, one of the two guys on the track will always totally hit the spot, while the other will always fall flat without fail.
I was fighting some demons, in the field, bitch, I'm deep in.
The beat is solid, and the kid doesn't ruin it.
They try to take my floor, I take their ass for ransom.
The beat is pretty good, and the kid tries to ruin it, and just barely fails.
It's a hot girl summer, so you know she gotta live.
I've come to realize that my main issue with this song isn't the beat, or Nicki, or Megan, or even Ty Dolla $ign's hook. It's just how sloppy the City Girl sample is.
Don't run from me, free.
Seriously, you can still hear the original beat clearly, and while I appreciate that sample in that context, it just feels out of place. Honestly, I initially dismissed this song as a sloppy rush job trying to capitalize on a summer meme when the summer was already over, but it's got its charms, and it's definitely grown on me. At the very least, I can definitely say it's a step up from the last time Juicy J put in work for a female pop star.
She eats your heart out like Jeffrey Dahmer.
So you're a tough guy, like you really rough guy.
If you're wondering whether this song is only so high because of where Todd and the Shadows put it on his list, yes. That is pretty much entirely what changed my mind about it.
Duh.
I know it's a cliche in the music review community for opinion on a song to bend around whatever Todd says about it, but I didn't change my mind about Bad Guy just because he liked it, but rather because what he actually said about it in that segment helped me to look at it from a different angle. When I view Bad Guy as more than just a song, but as a social phenomenon, kind of like what I did for Old Town Road, that does give me a wholly new appreciation for it. It's not a song I'm absolutely in love with, but I am extremely happy that it got as big as it did. And just to fully shield myself from any accusations of fanboyism,
I've been having dreams
The build-up is incredible, the payoff is underwhelming, the song is many times better than Someone You Loved, and I have absolutely no idea how anybody could possibly think otherwise.
Bust down, Tatiana. Bust down, Tatiana.
If I had to summarize the culture of 2019 in 3 words, those 3 words would be, what the fuck? But Bust Down Tatiana could definitely work too. This song tries way too hard to do way too much, and honestly, I kind of admire it for that. Call it kindred spirits, I guess. There is not 1 square centimeter of free space in this mix. Its sound is domineering and overpowering, kind of like a modern version of the Stock Aitken Waterman tracks that dominated the late 80s. And much like those old Stock Aitken Waterman tracks, it's a ton of bombastic fun if you're on board with it, and ungodly annoying if you're not. One thing for sure though, it hits at full force. I guarantee you that those opening horns will become a Rickroll style meme at some point in the next 15 years, and future generations will hear this song and wonder how any of us ever listened to it unironically. This song has either too much or too little of any given quality depending on who you're asking.
Now watch me fly, fly.
This one has grown on me a fair bit from when I first heard it, but I still really can't think of a good reason to listen to this in a world where Young, Wild, and Free exists.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful angel.
I honestly don't understand how anybody could possibly have a moderate opinion on this song, and that is very much including myself. Everything in my brain is telling me that this is either completely brilliant or completely worthless. There is no middle ground. Let's just put it this way. At some point in the future, this duet is going to be covered, and that cover is going to be the most transcendently astounding thing ever recorded, but this is not that version.
I'm a sucker for all the subliminal things no one knows about you.
I swear, I didn't intend for this song to fall pretty much dead center on this list, but it feels right, because this is pretty much the definitive middle-of-the-road pop song that never wore out its welcome in 2019. I couldn't give it the actual middle spot, though, because I think you know as well as I do that that spot just had to go to... Okay, look. I know that everybody has a really strong opinion on this song. I completely understand why this song is an anthem for some and a punching bag for others. I could talk about how I personally think this song is brain-dead stupid, but it actually kind of makes brain-dead stupidity work to its advantage, while fully admitting that it's kind of cool that Sheck West did the whole thing in one take and managed to work the audio of him fucking up into the song as the best part. However, the more I thought about it, the more I realized that it doesn't really matter what I think about it. It doesn't matter what you think about it. In the end, there's really only one person whose opinion on this song matters even in the slightest. And so now I have to ask, what do you think of the song, actual real-life professional basketball player Mohamed Bamba?
My thoughts on the song is it's a banger. It's one of my favorite songs, but I try to preserve it as much as possible because people overplay it. But like I said, it's a banger.
Wow. Thanks, actual real-life professional basketball player Mohamed Bamba.
No problem, Sean. Don't mention it.
Ah, gee, what a guy. Well, I think that's about as good a place as any to wrap up part 1 of this list. I actually have a special surprise for you guys regarding when part 2 of this video is going to be out, and I could just tell you what it is myself, but why would I do that when I could have the announcer from Dragon Ball Z do it for me? Take it away, Kyle.
Attention. Part 2 of this countdown will be premiering tomorrow. That's right, tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Which songs will rise to the occasion? Will anyone make it into the exceptional tier? How many more songs will be ranked lower than Baby Shark? All this and more. Next time on Diamond Axe Studios Music.
Thanks, Kyle. Just remind me why I decided to hire you to say that rather than just saying it myself.
Because you've got Patreon money now, and darn it, you're gonna use it.
Fair enough. See y'all tomorrow.